Hello and welcome, my name is Mark, this is GameRules.com, and today I'm going to teach you how to play a little card game called Uno All Wild. Before we begin, if it's your first time visiting us here, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified about new uploads every week. Uno All Wild is a lot like regular Uno, except there are no color cards. Every card is wild, and a lot of the cards have special actions. Let's dive in and find out what this game is all about. Uno All Wild is composed of a 112 card deck. Most of the deck is made up of regular wild cards. The other chunk of the deck is made up of wild action cards, and we will talk about what these do here in a little bit. To set up for the game, determine a dealer. That player shuffles the deck and deals 7 cards to each player. We'll play that our dealer is at the bottom of the screen. Place the rest of the cards face down to form the draw pile, and then begin the discard pile by flipping the top card over. If the card that is flipped over is an action wild, then you ignore that action to begin the game. Here we are starting the game with a regular old wild card. The player seated left of the dealer goes first, and they can play any card from their hand. If they choose to play a regular wild card, that ends their turn, and play passes left. If they choose to play an action wild card, then the action must be completed. What are all the actions? Let's find out. There are 7 different wild action cards in this game. The first is the wild draw 2. When this is played, the next person to go must draw 2 and they lose their turn. The wild reverse changes the direction of play. The wild draw 4 forces the next player to draw 4 cards and they lose their turn. The next is the wild forced swap. When this is played, the person who plays it must exchange their hand with an opponent's. Then we have the targeted draw 2. When this is played, the person who plays it picks one opponent at the table. That player must draw 2 cards. Their next turn is not skipped. Here we have the skip 2. This skips the next 2 players in turn order. Then we have the single wild skip. This simply skips the next player to go. Let's get going with the game. Our player here decides to play the draw 2. The next player must draw 2 cards. Their turn is skipped. Player 3 now goes and they play a regular wild card. Player 4 now goes and they choose to play a reverse. So the direction of play now changes to counterclockwise. This player here goes again, and play like that continues. And as usual, once a player plays their second to last card to the discard pile, they must say Uno. If they fail to say Uno before one of their opponents does, they must draw 2 cards as a penalty. And the round ends once a player has emptied their hand completely. Oh yeah, and one more thing. If the player going after you is able to empty their hand and you cannot stop them, you may draw a card. If it's an action card, play it. If it is not, you must keep the card and pass your turn. And you can play where a person going out ends the game. That person wins. You can play another game, shuffle up, deal, and keep going. Or you can play multiple rounds with the scorekeeping method. Whoever goes out first will earn points based on the cards remaining in their opponent's hands. All regular wild cards are worth 20 points each, and all wild action cards are worth 50 points each. The person who emptied their hand will earn those points, then the deal passes left, and you continue to play rounds until one player reaches a score of 500 points or more. That is it for Uno All Wild. Thank you for tuning in. If you'd like to continue to see a growing collection of game rules, you should subscribe and hit that bell, and you'll be notified every week about the new uploads. If you'd rather read rules in writing, you can head over to GameRules.com and do so. I will have a link for this game in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, keep on playing.